One left hand. That was all it ever took. When Butterbean landed clean, the fight didn't slowly unravel, it simply ended. Over the years, this necklace-free wrecking ball rearranged jaws, expectations, and careers with the same blunt efficiency. If you stood in front of him with confidence, attitude, or mockery, you usually left with a new relationship with the canvas. These weren't just knockouts. They were physics lessons delivered at full force. Luzy Monaco learned that lesson immediately. He strutted into the ring looking like a living bodybuilding trophy, flexing as if judges were there to score his delts rather than monitor his survival. Across from him stood Butterbean, the undefeated champion of every gas station parking lot physique ever created. Monaco tried to box, tried to pose, tried to look impressive. None of it mattered. Butterbean loaded up, stomped forward like a walking refrigerator with fists, and seconds later the shredded statue was face down on the canvas, sliding into an entirely new career path. A perfect body couldn't stop a single heavy right hand. Ken Woods thought he could manage the chaos. Early on, he tried to mix it up, circling, poking, telling himself he was doing okay. But round 2 arrived like a natural disaster. Butterbean's right hand connected and Woods collapsed in slow motion, the kind of fall usually reserved for cartoon anvils. The floor caught him, shrugged, and accepted its new tenant. Lights out. No explanation required. Peter McNeely came in swinging wildly, like he was auditioning for a Rocky reboot. Butterbean had no interest in nostalgia. He unleashed a storm of punches so relentless the referee had to step in like traffic control at a demolition derby. McNeely stayed on his feet, technically, but looked like a man who had just survived a blender on full speed. The fight was stopped, mercifully, before the damage escalated further. Then there was Shawn Jurgen, a man whose courage was only slightly outweighed by his poor life decisions. From the moment he showed up, it felt like the safest option would have been staying in the locker room and blaming an allergy to boxing gloves. Butterbean opened up early, combinations thudding into Jurgen's body and head. One right hand followed by another and Jurgen hit the canvas hard, his head snapping against it as the fight ended instantly. Kansas was suddenly very far away. Marcus Road arrived with confidence far bigger than his survival plan. The fight felt like two bears arguing over food, except one clearly owned the forest. By the third round, Butterbean seemed bored. He flipped the switch and Road crashed down like his batteries had been removed. Body shots broke him down, and when he stood in front of Butterbean wondering why, the answer arrived immediately in the form of another crushing punch. Jackie Beard tried humor. He walked in smiling, laughing at Butterbean's body, clowning mid-round and bouncing around like this was a comedy set. For a moment, it looked playful. Then Beard pushed one joke too far. One heavy right hand shut everything down. Beard hit the floor stiff as a fallen tree, the laughter replaced by silence and a referee counting. Kevin Talon decided taunting was a good idea. He stuck his tongue out at Butterbean and marched forward absorbing body shots like a heavy bag that forgot it could move. Somehow he survived long enough to believe the impossible. Then reality arrived in round 3. Butterbean unloaded, Talon folded, and the canvas became his only refuge. Butterbean took his demolition tour on the road next, turning Tim Bergen into a traveling cautionary tale. One heavy barrage later, the referee jumped in like a lifeguard saving a drowning tourist. Ed White tried poking the bear, landing a few shots and feeling brave. Butterbean rebooted mid-fight and what followed wasn't a comeback, it was a system crash. Paul Springer strutted into his debut stacked like a protein commercial. Confident muscles paid rent in the ring. Butterbean let him waste energy, then lifted him off the canvas with a right hand that ended the fight instantly. The punch landed clean on the chin and Springer learned that strength without defense is just decoration. James the Colossus Thompson talked trash beforehand, promising to make it quick and painful. The bell rang. One punch later, Thompson was horizontal, questioning physics, gravity, and life choices. Doug Norris tried slick movement, circling like it was a chess match. Butterbean flipped the table. A few shots landed, balance became optional, and Norris went down face first like a bad download that crashed mid-install. Jonathan Whitfield thought height was a superpower. Butterbean saw extra surface area. Whitfield flexed, taunted, and jabbed, ringing the dinner bell. One heavy sequence later, he spilled backward through the ropes, folded by body shots, escorted out by gravity itself. George Clark barely had time to process what was happening. Butterbean delivered a short combination that sounded like furniture falling downstairs. 1 second Clark was fighting. The next, he was exiting the ring through the ropes like they were an emergency exit. Patrick Graham arrived confident, standing across from a walking demolition permit. That confidence evaporated after a few heavy shots. Butterbean swung again, and Graham didn't just lose the fight, he lost his ring address, launched outside as if the ropes were optional. Kenny Craven thought distance was his cheat code. Once trapped, the plan collapsed instantly. Butterbean unloaded, arms swinging like he was clearing brush by hand. The referee stepped in before it turned into a crime scene. James Baker believed surviving 2 rounds was realistic. That dream expired almost immediately. George Lindbergher didn't even give the crowd time to sit. Bell rings, 2 punches, fight over. One of the quickest knockouts ever recorded. Jab to the body, hook to the jaw, lights out. Rodney Phillips, Pat Jackson, and countless others repeated the same mistake. They underestimated the fluffy nightmare. They believed height, muscles, or confidence could scare Butterbean. Gravity disagreed. Punches landed. Chaos followed. Even referees caught souvenirs trying to separate fighters from the damage. This is what Butterbean was. Not pretty. Not sculpted. Just brutally effective. Every knockout was a reminder that confidence doesn't stop momentum. Muscles don't cushion impact. And underestimating raw power is one of combat sport's oldest mistakes. If you enjoyed watching Butterbean dismantle cocky opponents and rewrite the rules of intimidation, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Most viewers aren't subscribed yet, and your support genuinely helps us keep making content like this. Drop a comment letting us know which knockout shocked you the most, and we'll see you in the next one.